my guys reached out to the management, and the manager came back and said, look, he still has an exclusive negotiation period, and so let's see how that plays out.
Hi, Scott. Just two quick ones from me. First and foremost, I guess Melvin Manoff retired tonight after a tough fight in the end for him. I wonder if you just have a few words for him about his career and his impact on these martial arts.
Melvin he has a very special place in my heart because that guy his fighting style has always been no fear and go, and either he takes them out or he gets taken out. He is a warrior, and so I followed his career. I first saw Melvin fight in 2006 in K1. Didn't work out for him that night. He fought Ray Seffo. Ray looked like he was 225. Melvin looked like he was 185. But he went there and swung until it didn't work out for him. And, I've promoted his career. I followed his career. I've been a fan. I just love the way he brings it and his attitude. And, he's, consider him a friend and his family. We're all, we worked together for many years. I think it was time for him to, put down the gloves, and which I'm glad he did. And, now he can go into retirement and train and teach and do other projects that he wants to do.
And just one final one for me. Two of the light heavyweights tonight, obviously Yoel was one, and Carl Moore was another. He expressed an interest in fighting Yoel. Is that, I know you probably don't matchmake, literally minutes after the event ended, but is that something right off the bat that just sounds potentially interesting to you?
Well, I tell you, that was a great fight. Carl the opponent was a very good opponent and very, capable. And originally I thought that fight could go either way. It worked out, but when I think about matchmaking for the future in that division, I really think about just going back to my team. Let's reshuffle the deck. Let's see what we can put together for him. Title shot right away, maybe not. I'm not sure if he's even where he's ranked in the top 10. So we're going to have to figure that out. And same thing with Yoel. I mean, Yoel wants to fight at 185, and he hasn't fought for 180 with us at 185 yet. But he looked good tonight. He looked very calm, very composed. Did a lot of damage, and he looked very good. So we'll see.
Scott, where would you like to see Yoel Romero fight next? 185 or 205?
That's something that's going to be a decision that he's going to have to make. To me, I feel like 205 is a good weight class. He looked at him, he just looks in shape. He looks calm. He looks just, he's a beast. So I think he looks good at 205. But if he really wants to cut and make the weight, that's going to be up to him. And then we'll figure out with his management, who was here today, and they've already started, talking in my ear about making the 185 run. And if he's really serious about it, we would definitely consider it.
It seemed like Benson was calling out the winner of Usman and Magomedov and Patricky Pitbull. Do you see him as the next title contender after that fight happens?
I definitely think he's right up there now. I think he was ranked number 3 or 4 before the fight tonight. So I think his stock went up a little bit. The fight that's going to happen in Chicago with Usman and Pitbull, that's going to be the championship fight. So let's see how that fight plays out, and then we'll decide. But I tell you, it's when I look at this 155-pound weight class, it's getting stacked, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And I think we have some real great talent. And when I think of Masayev, and I think of Usman, and I think of Pitbull, I think of Benson, I think so we got a great division. It might be our tournament next year that we'll put together.
Pedro Carvalho had a great win over Mads Burnell tonight. He's asking for the winner of Jeremy Kennedy and Aaron Pico. Is that a matchup that you'd like to make?
I mean, it's definitely a consideration, Like I said, when these fights happen, I really like to go back and sit down with my team and figure out what's the best move and what fights we put together. But if you look at the rankings, sometimes they speak for themselves. I mean, what I mean by that is when we come back in, next Monday, or the reporters will have their thoughts on the rankings, and then we'll go right down the list and see if it makes sense, and maybe 6 fights 5 fights 4 4 fights 3, 2 fights 1, so we're going to work our way up, but it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, Brett Johns had another very dominant performance. His last one out against Kirsha Kakarov was very dominant, and again tonight. His team, though, seemed to be a little unhappy with the attention that they're receiving from Bellator. How do you see Brett fitting into the puzzle of the bantamweight division?
Well, you know what? That's something that I could see why somebody would feel that way, especially in the middle of this tournament, right? I mean, we're in the middle of a great bantamweight division tournament, and it's going to be hard for somebody to get a little bit of shine on them until this tournament's over, because that's the focus of the bantamweight tournament right now, or that bantamweight division.
Scott, who do you think is a person that emerged from this card, or maybe the card before, that could be the next headliner for Bellator in Ireland? Brian Moore may be a name after tonight. His reaction every time he comes out in Ireland was huge. Got another huge win and a great performance tonight. Called out Higo. Is that a possible main event next February?
It's definitely a possibility, and right now it's a little bit premature to figure out who's going to be fighting next February. But I think we've always delivered great cards here, and I think that we'll bring back another amazing fight card, and that's definitely a possibility.
Is there any update on James Gallagher? Obviously, he was supposed to fight in this card, and it didn't happen. Any update on what is going to be happening with James next?
No, you know what? I know he's been injured a lot, and I know he had a baby, and there's a lot of things going on in his personal life. So we'll figure that out. But my goal really is to get James back into the cage as soon as possible.
Thanks.
Yoel Romero had a huge reaction from the Irish crowd here tonight. Have you had any other names kind of blown up your phone asking you to fight on the next Dublin card?
I haven't checked my phone yet, but I'll let you know in 30 minutes. No, but listen, Yoel Romero is loved everywhere. When he fought in Paris, they loved him. He fought here, they loved him. He's just got that charisma, and he's having a great time out there. He dances all the way to the cage. I mean, he's a star, and that's just how I feel. It's like he's just got that little X factor that not everybody has.
You put the hammer down on Dylan Dennis's boxing career during the week. Is he a possibility that we could see here in February?
Listen, Dylan is a kid we had a lot of high hopes for. He's super talented, ground jiu-jitsu, fighter. But he's got to stay active, and he's got to want to come back. And he calls me, he wants to come back, and then sometimes I don't hear from him for months. So if he's really serious about coming back, we'll definitely have a spot for him, and we'll make an opportunity for him.
Sure, thank you.
Hell of a card tonight. What do you say to the fans who are calling for it to be more than once every 6 months? Do it every month now? Would you come back here more often?
You know what? That might be rare. That might be tough. But one of the things we talked about was creating a challenger series here in Ireland, and maybe doing that once a year. But I think that twice a year to put on fights of this magnitude. Listen, it's a great place to do fights, and the fans are amazing, and the fighters are great, and we have such a great time. But we do have a lot of commitments in different territories that we have to fulfill as well.
Scott, there were a couple of chants tonight about the Queen's passing recently. Did the broadcaster in the UK get on to you about any of that stuff they heard on the broadcast?
I didn't hear anything about that.
I also wanted to ask as well, you were asked about Dylan there earlier. Over the last couple of days, did any of those people involved with those internet celebrities get in touch with you?
No, the first I heard about that was when we had the conversation the other day, and I have not heard anything from their management or the promoters about the boxing fight. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for watching this video on SevereMMA.com. For more wonderful content, please click the like, subscribe and notification bell, and follow us on these social medias.